My name is Merilyn Baldock. I'm a mum of 3 lovely children and 5 beautiful grandchildren. And I'm a member of the SDA Church in Mona Vale. And I'm a mum of a loved one who experienced incarceration. I'm sharing my experience today in the hope that it will make a difference on a subject we don't talk about much. The community and our churches have little or no understanding of what it is like for the family. So in these few precious moments given now, I hope to give a voice to the voiceless, who, because of their situation, are hidden away and are not free to express the experience they are going through. Maybe you don't know of anyone who is or has been imprisoned. Maybe you don't know that right now in your churches there are families, real people, someone's child who is experiencing the grief, the loss, the separation of their child from all that we take for granted every day. Being incarcerated is not just a loss of freedom. It is separation from family and friends and all that is familiar. To the family, it is a grief, a loss of a loved one, to be committed to an environment that can be both at times hostile and very lonely. As a parent, it is heartbreaking because you feel there is little that you can do. You experience a sense of helplessness, and your incarcerated loved one can very easily experience a lack of hope. I can't stress enough the untold grief you feel as a parent. As a parent, you have to learn how to help your loved one survive while incarcerated. I felt very much alone in this capacity. Visits are an experience in patience and in endurance, but they are necessary for your loved one. They look forward to seeing you on a visit. And I never knew what would await my visits. Some fellow inmates think nothing of bashing up their cellmate. If your child has a disability, there is little help, but there is help, and you have to search for it. It is sometimes almost impossible to get through the fortified stone walls to speak to any correctional services officers, but persist. There is a social worker, and I would ring her and get her to check and report back to me if all was well or not. There is a very busy psychiatrist. If your loved one is on medication, it is important that those medications and dosage are referred on accurately. There is a chaplain, and each inmate is entitled to a Bible and to talk with the chaplain. Once a week the inmates can put through a scant order for shaving cream, necessities like that, chocolate bar and potato chips as a treat. But I wonder, what can the churches and what can we as individuals do? Well, we can do more. There is plenty that we individually can do. Firstly, there is prayer. I can't emphasize more that there is power in prayer. Combined with action, with doing something. You know, one of the loveliest things that happened for me during my child's incarceration was knowing that we were being prayed for. My loved one was being prayed for, and they prayed mostly for safety and protection. But I will be forever grateful to people like Gabriel from my church, and Pauline and Arette and Beryl and Maurice, who prayed, many others as well. Then the whole prayer support from the prayer warriors team, who took up the commitment and never stopped praying. And I dread to think how things would have gone without this prayer ministry. And so I would encourage you to do the same. These people are very vulnerable and very easily forgotten. Don't forget them. Ask yourself, what would Jesus do? We read in Matthew 24, verse 40, Inasmuch as you have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren, you have done it unto me. And in Matthew 25, Jesus said, when I was in prison, you visited me. I take this as a command as much as a statement. There are practical things that can be done too. By sending a letter, describe and tell of your life. Others' lives are important to these lonely people. Tell them of God's love for them. Fill them with hope. Give of yourself, not withdrawing. Send pictures, the words of a song. All it will cost you is a postage stamp, a piece of paper, and a trifle of your time. But you have no idea how important it will be to the receiver. Send a photocopy of a hymn or the words of a song. Everything, of course, is scrutinized and read by the officers. Anything where the word of God is mentioned is sent back to you. But you can write a lot of other things. One of the most important things is to support the family of the incarcerated. Don't make them feel shamed or criticized. This is not the time to judge people. No one but God knows the full situation. They need your genuine love and support now. They need to know they are being thought of, that they are being prayed for. One of the loveliest things someone did for me was to accompany me on a visit. This is love in action. Another thing that your church can do is collect a few dollars and give to the grieving family to be placed into the inmate's account to purchase those necessities. Remember the shaving cream. These things become very, very meaningful. I have a take-home message for you. And the take-home message is this. It is very, very easy to make a difference to a person's life. Never abandon the incarcerated. Never forget them. Never abandon the family. Support, support, and more support is what they need. Ring the family and talk kindly, reassuring them. Let them know that they are not forgotten. Be there for them through this whole ordeal. Realise it is not their fault, and never stop praying. If everyone prayed, doors would open up, chains would drop off, just decisions would be made for the inmate. Pray that the time in incarceration is a time of not just reflecting, but a time of learning for the inmate, a time of transformation. Remember, there, but for the grace of God. You may not realise it, but it could be you one day. It could be your loved one. Yes, we can do better, and we are going to do better to help these people. The most salient point that I want to leave with you today is that these people need genuine, empathic prayer, always followed by action. There's no use just praying and saying, yes, I'm praying. Do something. Do something for them. And I've given you the suggestions. Writing a letter to them, sharing with them some of your life so that they can have contact with the outside. There is lots that you can do. And for myself, I got a dog. But you can get a cat, you can get a guinea pig, something to hold and to love.